Hey guys, welcome to the Rambler Sports Locker. I'm Rebecca Baer.
And I'm Benita Gingerella. Let's see what's happening this week in Loyola Athletics.
Men's basketball survived a tough test Wednesday night at Gentile Arena when they played Tennessee Tech. The Ramblers won 81-78 with Cully Payne scoring a season-high 18 points. The Ramblers are now 5-2 with the win. As Amanda Bonifiglia reports, the whole team pitched in to earn the W.
If you've followed the Loyola men's basketball team even a little bit this season, you know that they're celebrating the 50th anniversary of their national championship. But before that team beat Mississippi State, Duke, and Cincinnati to win the title, the Ramblers had to beat Tennessee Tech. 50 years later, the Golden Eagles squared off again in hopes of revenge. Unfortunately for the road team, Ben Avercamp and the Ramblers had other plans and beat their opponents from the Southeast 81-78. We asked Coach Porter Moser what the team could take away from handing Tennessee Tech their second loss of the season.
We took experience away from this. We haven't been in a you can't simulate that in practice. Pressure, situations. We didn't have any of these in Italy. We haven't had any of these yet this year.
Breakout games for Jordan Hicks and Coley Payne complemented the play of consistently dominant Ben Avercamp. All three of them scored over 15 points en route to the team's highest scoring total of the season. For a while, Payne even played side-by-side with backup point guard and future Rambler ball handler, Kiki White.
I'm totally comfortable with it, and I know these guys are comfortable with a freshman like that. That's not an easy situation, especially tonight. And he came in and played some big minutes for us.
50 years ago, the Ramblers played Tennessee Tech in the first round of an NCAA tournament. That 69-point victory still stands as the largest margin of victory in a tournament game. Now today the margin may not have been as great, but Coach Porter is happy to see that 9 players scored in the win today.
You know, the first 4 guys off the bench are freshmen. And I look at those guys and I look at Turk, O'Leary, Jeff, Kiki, and Nick. You know, it's 19 points off the bench. I mean, gosh, we didn't have that. You got 19 points off the bench from those guys.
The coach was right. Last season, the Ramblers didn't have 9 players scoring. In fact, there were games last year when Loyola didn't even have 9 players to dress. This team effort and their next game against Furman might serve as a springboard for Loyola to bring out their A game in order to get ready for a huge matchup in East Lansing against Michigan State, a team who earned a #1 seed in the tournament just last year. For the Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Amanda Bonifiglia.
Women's basketball suffered their second loss this season, losing 80-53 in Evanston against Northwestern University this past Saturday. The Ramblers started out strong with Simone Law and Taylor Johnson each scoring 4 points as Loyola gained an early 8-7 advantage, but they could not maintain the lead for the rest of the game. Despite the loss, sophomore Katie Fott scored a career-high 11 points in the last 10 minutes of the second half as she poured in 3 three-pointers. Next, the Ramblers will be traveling to DeKalb to take on Northern Illinois.
The official track and field season begins November 30th. The Ramblers will kick off the season at the Laker Early Bird Invitational hosted by Valley State University in Michigan. Returning runners will be welcoming more than 20 new team members this season. On Saturday, Declan Murray and James McLaughlin will be recognized as Loyola's first 2 track and field All-American in nearly 20 years. Each athlete earned second-team All-American honors last March at the NCAA National Indoor Championships. The team will conclude their weekend meets on Sunday, just in time to attend the 2012 Loyola University Chicago banquet held at the Lakeshore campus.
Loyola University women's volleyball team ended their season last Saturday in a 3-0 loss to Cleveland State in the Horizon League semifinal. Senior Anna Etchison brought Loyola within 2 points of Cleveland State before the Vikings pulled away to end the third set with a final score of 25-17. This gives Loyola a record of 17-12 for the 2012 season. This marks a 13-game win improvement from last year, which is the highest win improvement in the nation so far this season. The men's soccer team has already gone through major changes, only 2 weeks after their season-ending loss to Cleveland State in the Horizon League Championship game. Reporter Sean Hannon gives us a recap of the last season and a preview of what's to come.
In a season full of ups and downs, the Loyola men's soccer team demonstrated a tremendous amount of emotional and physical depth during their 2012 campaign.
We went through a long stretch of losing, not winning, and basically we just had to keep working. We couldn't take any practices off, and we pushed through at the end and got to the Horizon League tournament.
If you're in a losing season, you just got to keep your head up. We ended up working hard and stayed in it and had that competitive edge at the end and took ourselves to the finals.
The Ramblers earned the final seed of the 2012 Horizon League tournament after defeating Wright State at home on the last game of the regular season.
Before the game, the seniors kind of stepped up. Obviously, potentially it could have been their last game, so they kind of came together and took from last year's team and said, you know, we're going to play for each other, the guys that we play for each day in practice, the guys that we run to the field with, that we're on the line doing fitness with each and every day, and just leave it all on the field.
Unable to defend their Horizon League crown, Loyola announced the dismissal of men's soccer head coach Brendan Eitz.
Judging from the past, our regular season record hasn't been as great as we would have liked to have it be, but looking forward to the future, that's one of the aspects that we're going to look to improve.
We showed that we can really play. Sure, the record didn't show it this year.
With so many underclassmen returning to the team next year, the Ramblers are looking to carry the maturity and leadership that they learned from their upperclassmen during the 2012 season.
I learned that sometimes baptism through fire is the only way you can learn.
It speaks a lot about our team, but as well as our freshmen being very eager to learn to get on the field.
We had a bunch of freshmen starting, a couple sophomores, and they did a great job. So I think they're going to do great things going into the future.
After a season that was filled with overcoming adversity, the Rambler players are ready for the challenges that lie ahead.
What we've learned this year is that we are a family and that we can count on each other. Sure, we can go through ups and downs, but in the end, we'll have each other's backs.
We had a couple letdowns here and there, and we need to erase those going into the future. We could have a really good season next year if we all come together and play well.
A lot of people see us as an underdog, but we believe in ourselves, and I think that's ultimately what's going to help us win.
What I'll miss the most, is just playing at the highest level, playing soccer at the highest level. So I'm going to really miss that.
On behalf of Colleen Kresge and Bridget Murphy, this is Sean Keenahan for the Rambler Sports Locker.
With the men's basketball season well underway, senior Ben Averkamp is averaging 17.4 points per game so far this season. Can he get his average over 20 points per game for the season? Is there a chance we get to see any NHL hockey this season? And who will win the Heisman? Let's see what the Rambler fans think about these questions and more on the Weekly Ramble.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Weekly Ramble, where it's the Battle of the Blondes between Brittany Nelson and Megan Carabelli. I'm Brendan Bond, and I have a podium. All right, let's get started. Question 1. Is the NHL season, with the lockout still going on, gone for good? It'll come back. Brittany.
I'm gonna have to say that I think it's gone for good at this point. We're already a couple weeks into the would-be season. I just think it's gone for good for now.
Excuse me while I go cry in a corner. Yeah, it's gone for good. I know. Guys, it's really, really upsetting. Honestly, it's just they haven't come to an agreement. And I find it really irritating that they're only canceling games through the month. Just cancel the whole season. It's not happening.
They did cancel the All-Star game already.
Exactly, and the Winter Classic,
yeah.
And all that. It's just really upsetting. And on top of it, a lot of the players have gone over to the KHL. Even if they started the season now, it wouldn't be anything good because a lot of them are not coming back. They've already said that. So.
All right, both Brittany and Megan think the season's gone for good. What does Rambler Nation say? They agree with 87%. Both Brittany and Megan get a point. Tied. Question number 2. Senior stand-up Ben Averkamp. Can he average 20 points a game? He's averaging 17.4 already this season. Brittany.
I think it's early on in the season. He's already reached triple digits for his total amount of points. I think it's totally reasonable to assume he'll get that average up to 20.
I definitely think yes. He's the 19th player in Loyola history to reach 1,000 points and 500 rebounds. Absolutely. When you reach something like that, you can definitely average 20. So.
All right, let's see what Rambler Nation said. They agree. They think Ben can get up to 20 points a game. So to Coach Moser, give Ben some more shots, I guess. So it's tied up at 2 right now. Now, the SEC championship game this year is the de facto national semifinal. Notre Dame's already in. The winner of Alabama and Georgia will play Notre Dame for the national championship. Who wins Alabama-Georgia on Saturday?
All right, I know that some people will disagree. I think Alabama's going to win. I just know that Mark Richt, the coach for the other team.
Georgia?
He's not won yet, so that's what I'm going to say.
I also agree. I also think it's going to be Bama. Nick Saban, he's won 3 BCS national championships. I definitely think that's all he needs, and he's going to pull it out. I think he can.
All right, well, they both say Bama, no love for the dogs. Let's see what Rambler Nation says. They agree with Bama. Roll Tide. All right, we're now tied at 3. This is getting intense, guys. All right, 4th and final question. Who will win the Heisman on December 8th? Will it be Johnny Football Manziel, Manti Te'o, or Colin Optimus Klein, or somebody else? What do you guys say?
All right, I don't have much else to say other than this. I think if you followed the Manti Te'o story, he's from Hawaii, a small town. I think that he lost his grandmother 6 hours later, got the phone call. His girlfriend of years passed away from leukemia, and then 2 days later went out and had a career-topping game. I think that he's unstoppable. He's got the story. He's got the talent. I think he's going to take it.
Oh, well, that's hard to follow. I definitely think it's going to be Johnny Football. He's done great things this year. Being a redshirt freshman with the leadership he's had, he's been really, really consistent, and I think that he'll definitely be a winner, the first freshman to win it, or redshirt freshman.
He's in the NFL. So we have somebody saying the first linebacker ever is going to win, somebody saying the first freshman ever is going to win. Who does Ramble Nation think is going to win? And we got Johnny Manziel, which means that Megan is 1-4-3. And look at that great shot. All right, that was this week's edition of Rambler Sports Locker, Battle of the Blondes edition. Get to you guys at the desk, and I still have my podium.
Blonde power.
Oh,
So
yeah.
5.
That wraps up this week's edition of the Sports Locker. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel at Loyola RSL to catch up on what you missed. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at LU Sports Locker. We'll see you next week with more on what's happening in the Loyola sports world. I'm Rebecca Baer.
And I'm Benita Gingerella. Thanks for stopping by the locker,
And don't forget to turn out the lights.
Next week's December 5th issue of the Loyola Phoenix is the last one of the semester, and for me as a sports editor, it will be my last one also. I have been on staff since the beginning of my sophomore year, so that's 2.5 years now. I will not be returning to the staff next year. Rest assured, it will be in good hands. I know personally the two people who will be taking care of it. They can handle it. So usually in this spot, I will announce what's coming up next week in the Phoenix in the sports section, so I'll do that one more time. Men's basketball has some games going on this weekend. They play at home on Saturday at 2, and women's basketball has games also, so there'll be recaps of those. I personally am working on a piece on taking a look at concussions with the varsity athletes and the club athletes and how their recovery differs from them with the facilities. I will also be having a piece on a former Loyola alumni, Frank Lenti, who played club football here back in the 70s and is now the head coach at Mount Carmel High School on the south side. Coach Lenti just won his 11th state championship this past 2 weekends ago now, when Mount Carmel won the Class 8A state championship. So although it doesn't have football, we have a very good football alumni in Coach Lenti. Other than that, I just want to say I stole my podium and Teo for Heisman. I'm going to show some Notre Dame love in there. But I just want to thank all of you guys who read the Phoenix, which I know may not be many, but if you do read it, thank you. If you read my column or anything in the sports section at all, I really appreciate it. A lot of hard work. The past 2.5 years went into there. A lot of time, sweat, blood, not so many tears. There wasn't any onions in the office. But just thanks, guys, for reading it. Continue to read the Phoenix because there's actually a lot of students on the staff that put in a lot of hours. It may not always be the best content, and we do make mistakes. We're human, but they try their hardest. And I know that for the past 2.5 years, there's been a lot of great kids that have gone through there. So to the Loyola community, to the athletic department, the administrators, everybody else, thank you for taking the time to read the Phoenix. Really appreciate it. And thank you for everybody who read my column over the past few years, Bonded. That has always been a joy to write, mostly because it's got a really cool headline on there that I can put in called Bonded. So just want to thank you guys and give Nick Amatangelo and Bridget Murphy, who are the new sports editors next semester, your utmost respect. Thank you one last time. Pick up the Phoenix at your local newsstands in dorms around you next week. Thank you.